The Strength in Softness, Redefining Success for Single Black Mothers. Have you ever watched someone try to pour from an empty cup? Not the metaphorical kind. I mean, literally watching someone tip an empty glass over another, waiting for something magical to appear. That's exactly what society expects from single Black mothers every single day. I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Shsleise Harris, whose groundbreaking work supporting single Black mothers has transformed countless lives across communities. Her revolutionary approach to maternal advocacy doesn't just challenge systems, it reimagines them entirely. Through her tireless efforts, she's created spaces where mothers can breathe, where vulnerability is celebrated rather than penalized, and where strength is redefined beyond endurance. What makes Schleis extraordinary isn't just her brilliant mind, but her refusal to accept that suffering is the price of Black motherhood. Her insights reveal a truth we desperately need to hear: the expectation that Black mothers, especially those raising children alone or with special needs, should somehow manifest endless resources from nothing isn't just unrealistic, it's cruel. And yet we celebrate it, we glorify it, we call it strength. But what if true strength looks different than we've been told? When I spoke with Shsleise Harris, she emphasized something revolutionary. The strongest thing a single mother can do sometimes is to put down the cape. Her words echo in spaces where exhaustion is mistaken for resilience, where suffering is confused with sacrifice. Let's be honest. We've created a culture that expects Black mothers to be superhuman, to work multiple jobs, pursue education, raise exceptional children, maintain perfect homes, look flawless, never complain, never rest, and certainly never ask for help. And when they inevitably struggle under this impossible weight, we call them failures. This isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. The statistics tell us that 28% of single mothers live below the poverty line, but statistics don't tell you what poverty feels like at 3 a.m. when your child has a fever and you're calculating whether you can afford both medicine and tomorrow's bus fare to work. Statistics don't capture the weight of shame when you need help, but have been conditioned to believe asking for it makes you weak. This is where Toy Smith's story becomes so powerful. After experiencing profound isolation as a mother, Toy founded Loving Single Black Mothers, an organization that provides direct financial support through cash in hand programs specifically for single Black moms. What makes Toy's approach revolutionary isn't just the practical support. It's the fundamental premise that these mothers deserve help without judgment, without bureaucracy, without having to prove their worthiness. The narrative that paints single Black mothers as irresponsible or unworthy of assistance isn't just harmful, it's historically deliberate. Shsleise Harris explained during our conversation. It was designed to justify withholding resources from communities that need them most. Toy's organization challenges this narrative by creating networks where mothers receive resources without jumping through hoops or facing scrutiny. The result? Women who feel seen, respected, and loved, able to raise thriving children in healthier households. But this isn't just about charity. It's about justice. Consider Jacina Allman's journey. After becoming pregnant at 20 years old, this young model could have focused solely on her own career. Instead, she leveraged her platform to found the Tender Foundation, providing emergency financial relief directly to Atlanta area families led by single mothers. When Shsleise Harris highlighted Jacina's work, she noticed something profound. Jacina didn't just overcome barriers, she dismantled them for others coming behind her. Hundreds have received rent assistance and essential supplies through her foundation. But perhaps more importantly, Jacina has shifted public perception about what success looks like for young single Black mothers. You know what's fascinating about both Toy and Jacina? Neither of them started with massive resources or institutional backing. They simply refused to accept that suffering was inevitable. They recognized that the narrative of the strong Black woman who needs no one has never actually served us. It's merely made our struggles invisible and our needs dismissible. This brings me to a truth that Shsleise Harris emphasized repeatedly. You are deserving of support and community. Let that sink in for a moment. You are deserving of support, not because you've earned it through suffering, not because you've proven yourself exceptional, but because you exist, because you matter. Because raising children, especially as a single parent, especially within systems designed to make it harder for you, is valuable work that benefits us all. Accepting help isn't weakness, it's an act of self love and community building. But support isn't just about meeting immediate needs, it's also about creating pathways to long term stability and growth. This is where higher education and professional advancement enter the conversation, not as obligations or escape routes from motherhood, but as options that should be accessible to every mother who desires them. When Brisa discovered she was pregnant while working at an organization with outdated maternity policies, she faced an impossible choice: her health and bonding with her newborn, or financial stability and job security. Rather than accepting this false dichotomy, Brisa used her advocacy skills to push leadership toward updating maternity policies. As she told Shsleise Harris, we were able to strengthen and completely change the maternity leave policy within the organization so that I would be taken care of financially and I wouldn't have to worry. The new policy didn't just benefit Brisa, it created a precedent that protected all future parents at the company. One woman's refusal to accept inadequate support transformed an entire workplace culture. This is what happens when we reject the narrative that says struggle is our birthright. This is what happens when we believe we deserve better and then demand it. Shsleise Harris calls this revolutionary self advocacy. It's not just about individual advancement, it's about creating systemic change that lifts entire communities. And yes, this kind of advocacy takes energy, it takes courage, it takes support. Which brings me back to that empty cup. Society tells single Black mothers, be strong, do it all, ask for nothing. But Shsleise Harris offers a different wisdom. Your strength isn't measured by how much suffering you can endure. It's measured by how boldly you can love yourself and your children by creating the conditions where you can all thrive. Sometimes that means saying no to additional responsibilities. Sometimes it means accepting help from community programs. Sometimes it means advocating for policy changes in your workplace or educational institution. Always it means rejecting the notion that your worth is tied to your productivity or self sacrifice. As one mother told Shsleise Harris, the day I stopped trying to be superwoman was the day I actually became the mother my children needed. This brings me to another crucial truth. Your version of motherhood is valid and needed. There isn't one right way to parent or succeed professionally as a single Black mother. The journey you're on, with all its unique challenges, victories, and pivots, matters. It contributes to reshaping narratives for future generations. When you prioritize your well being alongside your children's, you're not being selfish. You're modeling self respect. When you pursue education or career advancement while parenting, you're not neglecting your children. You're showing them what's possible. When you accept help from community organizations like those founded by Toy Smith or Jacina Alma, you're not failing. You're participating in the ancient tradition of communal care that has sustained Black communities for generations. As Shsleise Harris beautifully articulated, the myth of the strong Black woman who needs no one has never served us. Our ancestors survived through interdependence, not isolation. So, where do we go from here? The truth is, we've been sold a dangerous lie that independence equals strength and needing help equals weakness. But real strength isn't found in isolation, it's found in community, in vulnerability, in the courage to say, I can't do this alone, and the wisdom to know you were never meant to. When single Black mothers are supported, when they have access to resources, education, healthcare, childcare, and communities that value them, everyone benefits. Their children thrive. Workplaces become more innovative and humane. Educational institutions become more accessible. Society becomes more just. This isn't just about individual mothers finding easier paths. It's about reimagining what motherhood can be when it's not weighed down by impossible expectations and systemic barriers. It's about creating a world where strength isn't measured by how much suffering you can endure, but by how boldly you can claim your right to joy, rest, and support. I challenge you today to become an accomplice in this reimagining. Question the narratives you've absorbed about what makes a good mother or a strong woman. Examine the policies in your workplace, your children's schools, your religious institutions, your government. Do they support or burden mothers? Do they value care work or dismiss it? Do they create pathways to advancement or barriers? Then act. Advocate for paid family leave. Support organizations like those founded by Toy Smith and Jacina Almond. Offer tangible help, not just sympathy, to the single mothers in your life. And if you are that single mother, give yourself permission to put down the cape, to ask for what you need, to prioritize your well being alongside your children's. Because a world that supports Black mothers is a world that works better for everyone. A world that values care work is a more humane world. A world that redefines strength as the capacity to be both vulnerable and powerful is a world where we can all breathe more freely. As Shsleise Harris reminds us, the soft girl era isn't about being weak. It's about being wise enough to know that softness, the ability to receive, to rest, to be vulnerable, is actually our superpower. Your softness is revolutionary. Your rest is resistance. Your joy is justice. And together we can create a world where no one is expected to pour from an empty cup, where every mother has what she needs to thrive, not just survive. Because when Black mothers rise, we ye all rise. And that's not just a pretty sentiment, it's the blueprint for a more just and joyful world.